in chapter 6, you start going into just a totally different aspect of warfare. I mean, a totally different aspect of warfare. Chapter 6 is called The Contest for Guerrilla War in China and the organization that had no damn business fighting it, the U.S. Navy's Army of Soldiers. And this is definitely one of the wildest sections in the book, all pretty much centered around this guy, Miles, who... This is like a whole book unto itself. Of course, I guess I say that over again for all your characters. But this guy's insane.
No, I mean,
quite literally at the end, I guess he is insane, right?
He is. I mean, the effort breaks him. It completely breaks him. He's committed to a mental institution. It takes him several months to, and part of that's drug induced. I mean, he's self-medicating by the end of the war. Taking an incredible cocktail worth of medicine just to, either stay awake, go to sleep, and then deal with the pain that he's dealing with, and the fevers too. He's got almost constant malaria throughout the entire war. But yeah, I mean, of all the guys that I say there's kind of a horse race in my head for who's the weirdest character in the book, and Miles is definitely leaning for the tape. I mean, he's like,
yeah.
I mean, he's fascinating in the sense of how unremarkable he seems. Like when you meet Miles, like he seems like any other ship officer that you would encounter. Just like if you did a visit, or any of the other guys. He's not a physical specimen. He's kind of nerdy looking. He's just forgettable. He's totally forgettable. He's not like a exotic person. He's not like a Lawrence of Arabia type character at all. And yet he does everything. I mean, what he contributes to the war is every bit as remarkable as a Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, I mean, we ran over the figures on the last time you were on this podcast, but he had this massive guerrilla force that he ends up running.
With no business doing it.
With no business doing it.
And that quote from the title, "No damn business," that comes from another Navy officer, one of Miles's friends. He's like, "We have no damn business doing this." I found the letter. Like, if one of Miles's friends thinks that the Navy has no damn business, then what hope did we really ever have?
Yeah, and yet the impact that they had was completely strategic. They end up killing somewhere in the neighborhood of 25,000, I think, enemy Japanese soldiers, but more important, tying up 1 million of them.
Yeah, right.
Only lost a handful of Americans.
That doesn't account for the number of Chinese lost. I mean, you're right. I mean, the Chinese contribution is it's unaccounted for and significant. But yeah, only six American deaths in the entire effort, which is the effort stretches from 1942 all the way to 1945. I mean, you're absolutely right. There should be a book written about this. And when I got into this, I didn't want to write this chapter. I was so tired of, not so tired, but I was so anxious to be done with World War II when I finished my UDT chapter, and I was so ready to move on to Korea. I just wanted different scenery, a different record group at the National Archives. When I got to this point, I mean, all I wanted to do was leave, and I was just trying to take this China stuff and kind of stuff it into like an introductory section of my Korean War chapter, and I couldn't do it. One chapter or one page became 2 pages, then became 3 pages, and 4 pages. And I was like, mother. I had to write a whole new chapter. It derailed my entire timeline for finishing the book.
What's the movie potential for
this?
For this,
I think if I was going to say like which of these, I think they could all be movies. But if you haven't seen, we've seen Saving Private Ryan. We've never seen a representation of a guerrilla war like what happened in China in World War II. It could totally. And Miles is such a an interesting character. He could be like, I mean, he's interesting in the fact that he's so boring, but he does. he survives 40 assassination attempts. He's a naval officer who's involved in probably more ground combat than anybody else in history.
Yeah, including a freaking cavalry charge on camels.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It's nuts. The whole thing is nuts. But yeah, the movie potential of Chapter 6 is high. I think the movie potential of the UDT chapter is just as high too. I mean, imagine seeing, or I can see a movie of these guys totally going into battle with just knives and fins and masks. That'd be pretty neat.